when you give me a wave, we'll go. Yeah, sounds good. Nice airy, cool at the moment, but something.
And the tracks, being there, it gets all setting for the neighbour. Yeah. It's more or less the hub of the area.
Okay, here we go.
We're good to go? All right. Well, it's great to be here this morning with Minister Mark Furner, also the local member here at Ferny Grove, at the Ferny Grove station, where really exciting things are happening. It's a transit-orientated development. Of course, this is a 15-minute frequency on this line. And so the announcement today is really exciting for everybody who uses the train system between Ferny Grove and Central, because we're extending the smart ticketing trial to this line from Monday. So if you're travelling between Ferny Grove and Central, you'll be able to use your smartphone, your smartwatch, your credit card, your debit card instead of your Go card, and once you sign up to the account system under smart ticketing. This kind of smart ticketing system is being used around the world: London, New York, San Francisco. What it means is that you don't have to stop and start and queue with your Go card. You can just walk straight through the gates and it'll automatically pick up whatever device you prefer, and away you go. And what we know from other systems where this has been implemented is you're able to, as a provider, give more services with the number of trains and drivers that you have, because the boarding is so much quicker. So investment in technology is an investment in increases in frequency over time and a better public transport system. So that's why we're doing it here in Queensland, and this is another step forward. What we're actually doing broadly is it's a 4-year program to unite 18 different public transport payment systems right across Queensland into the one system. And what that means is that we will be the largest geographic area in the world to have the one payment system anywhere on the globe. So whether you're in Cairns or Townsville or Rocky, Gold Coast, Brisbane, you'll be able to use the same system. So if you're visiting relatives, friends, having a holiday, tourists who come in from overseas, if they go to the reef and then come to the Gold Coast or Brisbane, they can use the same easy public transport payment method that they can set up before they even come here. So this system is fantastic, and it is wonderful to see Ferny Grove commuters benefit. I know Mark Furner has been a huge advocate for this system for his commuters, and I'm sure he wants to say a few words. Mark.
Thank you, Minister Bailey. It's great to be here, and I really want to express my satisfaction and excitement about this system being trialled here at Ferny Grove Railway Station. I've been talking to a lot of my constituents this morning that are using this system already, and they're so excited. They're commenting on the beautiful colours of the Indigenous artwork. They're taking photographs as they go through the gates. So there's an air of excitement here in Ferny Grove this morning. So I'm really looking forward to the feedback from those commuters, and I'm sure it'll be very positive. I want to just comment on some of the Minister's points he made. Imagine the case that we're going to be a world first state with a smart ticketing system across the globe in terms of contactless systems, where anyone, whether they're tourists, whether they're locals, whether they're from interstate, can use this system by their watches, their smart watches, their smartphones, their credit cards. So it's a seamless exercise, and it's going to bring us into the future. So I'm really encouraged with what we're doing here today, and great to be here with Minister Bailey. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
This has been across Sydney for years. Why is it taking so long?
Well, what we've got here is that we're uniting 18 different legacy systems right across Queensland. So we've needed to do trials in different areas to migrate people onto the new system. And of course, there's a lot of back of house things. So, for instance, just to bring it onto the Brisbane bus and the South East Queensland bus system, we'll need 13,500 installations. So this is an epic program, and to unite All these different disparate systems into one system takes a bit of time. There's a lot of back-end work, but we're progressing very well, and we're now quite advanced. When we've put it in on the Gold Coast light rail, for instance, we've had more than 1 million trips already on the contactless system, so people have adopted it in large numbers and they find it really easy. So I urge people to give it a go. They can stick with the Go card too. If they're happy with that, that's fine, no problem at all. But if a lot of people give it a go and then there's no going back. So what we've found is where we've put it in, people love it, including in regional Queensland, and look forward to the program completing, and then the system will be fully in place for the whole of the state.
I believe the original timeline was, roll this out here by the end of start of this year. Then it was March. Why the delays?
I think the initial time frame was towards the end of this year. It was always a 4-year program. It is a huge undertaking, but it is a smart undertaking for our public transport system. We're not just building the hard infrastructure like Cross River Rail, like the Sunshine Rail duplication, like the light rail stage 3, stage 2 on the Gold Coast. We're doing the smart technology that goes with it to make the system so much better. So look, like any project, there's been some supply chain issues. In terms of the pandemic, that's been pretty normal across a lot of different projects, but I've been very happy with the progress, and I think people on the Ferny Grove line are going to be really happy to try it out on Monday.
So in terms of that timeline, that 4-year timeline, is that to have it rolled out every point you touch on off the whole systems? Is that city cats and buses and everything included? When can we expect to be able to do this everywhere right across Queensland?
Yeah, look, it was always going to be a 4-year program from start to finish as a minimum to get it right across all the different forms. So, yeah, we want ferries, we want buses, we want light rail, we want trains. So you can imagine that's a big project, and I think we're going pretty well. We'll see the whole system migrate by next year, and I think people are going to be very happy to see that. Just imagine for all those people coming here for the Olympics and the Paralympics, this system will be in place then for nearly a decade. Most people will use it by that point, and it'll just be seamless for people coming to enjoy the Games and the Paralympics here to use our public transport system really easily.
How much of that has been directed, I suppose,
Sorry, I couldn't hear because of that
How
car.
much of that has been directed at people who are coming from outside of the southeast? I know whenever my family come down, they've got to buy a go-kart because they lost it from last time. How much of that is going to boost tourism and things like that? Do you imagine?
Oh, look, I think this one of the major beneficiaries from, while we're doing the Ferny Grove line from Monday, one of the major beneficiaries will be everybody in regional cities right up and down the state, because you have the same system. When you come down here for a holiday or, whatever it is, you just bring the same card that you use in Townsville or Cairns or wherever. Having that one system for the whole state. We're talking about a geographic area that covers like more than 1,700 kilometres. It's pretty phenomenal reform, and I think people are going to be really happy with how easy it is to use it.
How many people do you expect will use this system?
Well, it depends a little bit, but we know that Queenslanders are really good adopters of new technology. So we've seen a lot of adoption on the Gold Coast, light rail systems, for instance. In regional areas where we weren't sure how people would adopt it, they actually really liked it. So, because once you're on, it's really dead simple. That's right.
Sorry about that, battery change halfway through.
That's all right, no worries.
It's not.
When will we see them on buses?
Sorry, Lila.
When will we see them on buses?
Buses is the next phase after this, so we'll have further timelines for you. But look, with trains, we install gates. You can see the colourful gates right behind me. With buses, of course, you've got to put them on every bus. So that program will progress going into the future, and we'll have more timelines for you there. But the whole system will have this.
Will it be one pass for all, or how will that work with concessions, students and seniors?
Yeah, the concessions are the same as under the go-card system, so that the payments don't change in that regard. It just means that you board much quicker, and that means that the service can go so much better.
Is there still a limitation? Let's say mum is travelling with a child, the child's on concessions, but mum is on the full fare. She can't tap a credit card twice, can she? That's when you've still got to have, like your concession, you've still got to have a go-card?
Yeah, well, I think that the usual things apply for parents. If you've got children there, you'll have to make sure there's payments for any passengers that are travelling. The same provisions there apply, as per the go card.
Just on the concession point, how are concession passengers identified in the system?
Well, there'll be a process for when you sign up to the account to identify that, and that's pretty similar to the Go card. A fair bit of that is honesty, but if you're caught doing the wrong thing, of course, there certainly are penalties.
So the account is linked to the card?
Yeah, that's right. So you have an account, and then you'll nominate, how you want to do it. So if you've got a smart watch, you might have credit card, debit card, or a lot of people, of course, use their mobile phone or their iPhones. So whatever you feel comfortable with, you'll link it. The thing that you carry with you most often is probably what you'll choose.
So you need an account to use this. It's not like a tourist coming, get off at the airport, use their credit card, come in.
Yeah, look, how it will work is that you'll get an account, generally before you leave. Some people might leave it to the last minute, of course, but it's pretty easy wherever you are in the world to get on the web. When you're travelling, you sign up to the public transport system there, and away you go. So that's how you do it. That's how locals will do it. That's how people overseas will do it, and that's how people use the system now when they travel to places like San Francisco and London.
On another matter, the Immunisation Coalition is calling for testing to be conducted for flu, RSV and whooping cough. They say it's essential, means GPs can treat people accordingly. Will the government have to consider that?
Look, I'll leave that up to health to consider, but I'm not aware of plans to do that at this stage. What we know is that this is a really bad flu season, so the worst in more than a decade. Not surprising in the sense that we've had 2 years of COVID. People have been social distancing, doing all those things, and we suspected it could be a bad year, and it is a bad year. So I really recommend to everybody, if you haven't had your flu jab, get out there and get it. It is a bad flu strain this year, and a lot of people have got it a lot earlier than previous years. I've had my flu jab, and I recommend everybody else do it. And of course, the other thing is, social distancing, hand hygiene during flu season. It's really effective in terms of flu, not just in terms of COVID as well.
Just on the inquiry experts, they're warning that we're currently in the grip of a number of some respiratory viruses sweeping from schools and hospitals and ambos as well. Are you worried as a government about that? It's going to be pretty bad this year.
Well, we're certainly worried that there's going to be a bad flu season. We've always said we will take the health advice, and that stood us in good stead. We've been one of the best performing jurisdictions in the world in terms of combating COVID. We've done that because we've acted and listened on the health advice, and we'll continue to do that in terms of other viruses as well.
Just on the inquiry into the year brief review, why didn't the committee support recommendations by the government relations firms and the CCC to widen the definition of lobbyists to include in-house lobbyists?
Well, look, the parliamentary committee's got a report there. We will consider that report as a government in full. We respect the role of parliamentary committees. We don't sack parliamentary committees like the LNP did when they were in power. I noticed that Jared Blay was there speaking for the LNP today, and of course he was one of the key people who caused a lot of the integrity crisis under Campbell Newman and when David Christophilly were in power. So we won't be lectured to by an LNP who voted against every integrity measure in state parliament over the last couple of terms. I mean, we legislated to stop political donations from property developers. It was opposed and voted against by the LNP. We brought in real-time disclosure of political donations, voted against by the LNP. So they have an appalling record on integrity. We won't be lectured to by them. This committee report will be looked at in full.
But should the definition be expanded to enhance that the transparency?
Well, look, this is a matter for the government to look at as a whole. It's only just been brought down. I'm not going to get into the specifics of what's in it and what's not in it. It's an important piece of work. It deserves to be considered fully and thoroughly.
Should there be an independent office established formally, the Integrity Commissioner, which is able to make its own decisions about staff?
Well, look, there's a whole range of recommendations in there. I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. It's just been brought down. I think the government needs a little bit of time to consider it in full, but I know the Premier and Cabinet will look at it thoroughly and will respond to it in full.
So in terms of schools, there's stories out today, concerns out today that teachers aren't able to defend themselves enough against pretty shocking behaviour in the classroom. Can the government look at additional safety measures? I know that there's already been programs rolled out. Can we look at things like self-defence for teachers in our schools to better protect them?
Yeah, look, I saw that report this morning, and it is concerning because all of our teachers deserve to be safe in the workplace. We support them 100%. We've brought in measures, for instance, a wellbeing program where we have psychologists and doctors as part of our school community. We brought in respectful relationships and updated it in the curriculum. So we support our teachers in their role. Sometimes it can be a difficult role, and we support them when something does happen. We broaden the definitions under work cover to apply to more workers and to give people more access. That's something that we respect workers' rights to be supported when something does happen, and it's still one of the best workers' compensation schemes in the country. So I know Minister for Education, Grace, is concerned about this. There have been a whole range of measures to support teachers already, and we'll continue to support them in any way we can.
So, yeah, you're saying the actual, the incidence of violence is increasing, that it's becoming more prevalent. And more be done? Can government look at that to do more?
Yeah, look, we certainly don't think that we've done everything, and that's that. And I know the Minister of Education and her staff and the department will continue to monitor the situation. It has been a very difficult year or two, broadly in terms of the COVID pandemic. Lockdowns, mental health issues have increased. We understand that. We'll be monitoring it well, and I have absolute faith that Grace, as the Education Minister, will respond appropriately and support teachers in every way that she can and that the government can.
I've just got one more just on the ticketing.
Sure.
You admitted there were some delays. Can you guarantee that these will be rolled out at all train stations by the end?
Look, that's the aim, absolutely. And I think to see it rolled out here is really a great step forward. You can see already there's about 700 of these very colourful machines all over platforms already. So you'll see a progression of it being rolled out. But what we do though is we do it in steps, so it's tested, so make sure it's robust. Any glitches or any issues are sorted out before we then go on to the next measure. But look, this is going to be a fantastic addition and just make travelling on public transport that much easier.
And you mentioned issues with COVID. Was it actually getting the equipment here? It must be pretty specialised.
Yeah, look, we're dealing with Cubic here, who are an international company. They've put it in elsewhere and done it very well. Supply chains are under strain in a whole lot of different projects. So, some of this technology is supply chain related. So, we will continue to work with them to get it. Anything coming out of Shanghai or China at the moment, is a big issue for the whole world economy. So supply chains are under strain, there's no doubt about that, but the program itself is going very well. The testing has been very thorough. We've been happy with the progress we've been making.
Still on budget, 371, no blowouts at all?
No, not at all. The advice to me at this stage is we are absolutely on budget, and of course, 4-year program, 18 different systems across 1,700 kilometres, across a whole lot of different modes. It's a massive project, but it's going very well.
Now, Rail Back on Track gave you a bit of a serve this morning for having not released the operational network map after the introduction of Cross River Rail. Is that coming soon?
Yeah, look, Robert Dowell's very passionate about rail and about the operational plan. It's 3 years, more than 3 years, until we actually open the Cross River Rail project. So plenty of time yet. We are working very hard on the operational plan. The system will change because with a whole new rail line, we'll need to adjust the system. There's no doubt about that. And I'm really happy with the work that we've been doing on that. It will be released well within a lot of time, a lot of scope before we open the system. So Robert will have a really happy day when we announce that, I know. But we want to give commuters plenty of notice. So we will certainly be giving them that. And the operational plan will show some changes in how the rail network will be structured. And we want to give people as much notice so they can adjust their travel plans as much as they can and have heaps of notice. All good? Lovely. Thanks everyone. Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Want some overlay?